chance of "You're getting sacked in the morning" aimed at Ange Postecoglou after Nottingham Forest lost at home to FC Midtjylland. Can he turn things around?
Of course, I prefer that people were optimistic in their outlook about what I'm doing. I did that, but again, I can only change that by winning games of football.
And after just 23 days in charge at Nottingham Forest, he faced chants of "sacked in the morning" from Nottingham Forest fans after their 3-2 defeat to Midtjylland in the Europa League. Midtjylland took the lead in the 18th minute. Usman Zhao tapping it in at the back post, 1-0. 4 minutes later, Forest equalised. Morgan Gibbs-White setting up summer signing Dan Ndoye to score. Just 2 minutes later, they were undone by another Midtjylland set-piece captain, Mads Beck, making it 2-1. Forest pushed for an equaliser in the second half, but were caught on the counter late on, leaving Postecoglou with his hands on his head and sparking thousands of Forest fans to head for the exits. In added time, Forest were given a penalty following a VAR review after Elliot Anderson was fouled in the box. Chris Wood scored it, but it ended 3-2.
Their fans are disappointed. They're allowed to, they're entitled to have an opinion on it. And I heard their opinion. Nothing surprises me anymore in football. I guess it's just the climate we're in where, it seems that's the way things are going. But look, that's something I can control. It's not unfamiliar territory for me. I really believe that we're on the right track, and I really believe that when we get through this period of kind of uncertainty we're in, that we'll be on a good path. And again, I firmly believe that that'll happen.
Right, Jay, to be clear, he hasn't been, but some of the fans were singing that and they were booed. What's your verdict on that?
Strange one, Tom. I always feel like fans pay their money, they're entitled to show their frustrations when, you can boo the team. But I think when it's personal, when it's like a player like we see with Morgan Rogers, last week or a few weeks ago, and this situation here with Ange, I think it's harsh. Saying your own fans, saying you'll get sacked in the morning. Now, my personal view on Ange is that I actually think he's a good coach. And when he was at Tottenham, when he had his full back line fit and available, I think that back line won, 17 or something like that. It was out of 18 games. They had a lot of injuries. He still was successful in terms of he won a trophy, but Tottenham at 16th, 17th place is not acceptable. So I understand to a point. But then when he's come into this job, he's been in the job for 3 weeks pretty much. It's a complete change of philosophy, DNA, of the way Forest players would be used to. So when Nuno was there, it was very much, low block.
After just 23 days in charge at Nottingham Forest, Ange Postecoglou faced chants of "sacked in the morning" from Nottingham Forest fans after their 3-2 defeat to Midtjylland in the Europa League.
Their fans are disappointed. They're allowed to, they're entitled to have an opinion on it. And I heard their opinion. Nothing surprises me anymore in football. I guess it's just the climate we're in where, it seems that's the way things are going. But look, that's something I can control. It's not unfamiliar territory for me. I really believe that we're on the right track, and I really believe that when we get through this period of kind of uncertainty we're in, that we'll be on a good path. And again, I firmly believe that that'll happen.
Now, when we talked Nottingham Forest in the last hour, there were so many people getting in touch, and so we thought we'd better revisit it and maybe read some of the messages that we got out, and maybe even put them to Jay. Jay, a message here from a Forest fan called Daz saying Forest fans need a reality check. They overachieved last season. Actually, I don't know if he is a Forest fan, but he's saying they need a reality check because they overachieved last season. Has he got a point?
I definitely think that they overachieved. I don't think they would have at the beginning of season.
It was a different manager, by the way.
Yeah, no, but I don't think they would have set out at the beginning of the season saying, I hope we get into Europe. That would, I think, maybe top 10 would have been great for them, considering the season before. But that's neither here nor there, because ultimately they are in Europe and they did do really well. So I think that's irrelevant, whether they overachieved or not. I think that fans can be frustrated with the performances this season, but again, calling him to be sacked in the morning it shouldn't happen, to be honest, in my opinion.
Well, John's done exactly that. He says it wasn't a few fans singing you're getting sacked in the morning, it was 90% of the ground. He says he is clueless, get gone. I know you disagree with that. It does seem quite strong, because, like we said, today is only his 24th day in charge.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why it's just ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, hearing Ange's comments there, him saying it's the climate today, and he said he heard the fans chanting, that's their opinion, but then he said we're on the right track. Now, I have seen passages of play, parts of games where, you said, I didn't see that last year from Nuno's team, and it looks really good. There was a particular goal that they scored against Swansea, I think, in the Cup, that was really nice, one-touch football, a lot of passing. I'd say a really good team goal. But again, when you go from one extreme to the other, and it's like chalk and cheese, you have to work at these things, and it's not going to take 3 weeks to be able to get it. It's over a period of time. If we was in January and this was still happening, then I would say, okay, the fans have an argument, they have a point. He could maybe get sacked. But right now, after 3 weeks, I think it's really poor to be singing that after a loss. Yeah,
I'll read a few more. Steph, she said, there's loads of messages you can see at the bottom of your screen. I'm reading some that came in earlier. Steph says, unfortunately, Ange has to go. He's turned the club into a circus like he did at Spurs. Players don't want to play for him. We don't know players don't want to play for him.
No, exactly.
We definitely don't know that. And is it really a circus?
No, and we're just talking about... Just on that, sorry, Tom. On that, I've spoken to some players that were at Tottenham, and none of them said that. Everyone said it was enjoyable. Everyone said that training was good. I spoke to Ange last year, and he actually said, people kept talking about injuries and what about the training and whatnot. It's hard to even have training in this day and age with all the games. You play on a Saturday, you play on a Wednesday, and then you play on a Saturday again. When do you really train? It's a recovery week. The only day you might get a Wednesday off, you might get one of those days off to recover or whatnot, but you can't really train. That's why there's always reoccurring injuries, especially for Tottenham last year. It's definitely not a circus, it's a transitional stage. And that's exactly what it is. I think Forest fans need to give him support more than anything else, not booing him. That ain't going to help.
Well, they'll sell out they always sell out their away end, Nottingham Forest, don't they? And they'll be up at Newcastle this weekend. A final one here. Robert says, Marinakis sacked the wrong man. Nuno is smiling. It does go back to the fact that Nuno was doing well and was quite popular. Yeah. Rather than anti-Postecoglou.
To be honest, I think that's more
Nuno.
I think that's more Marinakis' fault, to be honest. First of all, if I'm just going to put myself in Nuno's shoes, if Marinakis come on the pitch and embarrassed me publicly, I would find that really offensive. I don't mind if you do that in your office. You can say whatever you want to me in your office because you're my boss, but do not embarrass me on the pitch. And I think from that moment then, the relationship between them was fractured. I think Nuno felt disrespected. His comments sometimes have been a bit disrespectful as well. And I think that Nuno wanted to get sacked in the end because he was like, I don't need this. I've made this team into a successful team. We're in Europe. We've played some great football. We almost made it into the Champions League, and you're being disrespectful to me from where this club actually was. And I think it was Nuno that wanted to go more than Marinakis wanted him to go.
Okay, yeah, big game for Nottingham Forest this Sunday. Huge